Deep beneath the Mediterranean Sea, hidden within a graveyard of ancient statues, lay a seemingly worthless lump of encrusted bronze. For 2 millennia, the greatest technological marvel of the ancient world waited silently in the crushing dark. Mainstream history dictates that precise, complex clockwork machinery did not exist until the European Middle Ages. Yet this fractured, corroded artifact completely shatters our understood timeline of human technological progression. It simply should not exist at all. This is the Antikythera Mechanism, a 2,000-year-old analog computer of staggering complexity, engineered with microscopic precision. Its very existence implies a lost chapter of advanced ancient science deliberately erased or tragically forgotten by the sands of time. To understand the magnitude of this impossible machine, we must return to the moment it was pulled from the abyss. The discovery was completely accidental, born from a desperate struggle against a sudden, violent, and unforgiving Mediterranean storm. In the spring of 1900, Captain Dimitrios Kondos and his crew of sponge divers were retreating from fierce winds. They dropped anchor off the treacherous coast of Antikythera, a desolate, jagged rock situated squarely between Crete and Peloponnese. When the raging storm finally broke, a diver descended deep into the dark waters, seeking valuable sea sponges. Instead, at a perilous depth of 150 feet, he encountered a terrifying, surreal underwater landscape of scattered bodies. These were not human corpses, but fragmented marble and bronze statues spilled from a doomed Roman cargo ship. Among the treasures hoisted to the surface was an unremarkable calcified block of stone and corroded metal entirely ignored initially. For nearly 2 years, the recovered artifacts sat inside the National Archaeological Museum in Athens. The majestic statues garnered all the attention, while the strange, heavily encrusted lump of bronze was left neglected in a dusty, forgotten corner. It wasn't until May of 1902 that archaeologist Valerio Stace noticed something entirely impossible. The calcified rock had cracked open, revealing a precision-cut gear wheel embedded inside the ancient weathered limestone and porous rock. Stace immediately proposed that it was an astronomical clock, but the academic community ruthlessly mocked him. The prevailing dogma insisted that the ancient Greeks possessed neither the metallurgical skill nor the mathematical genius required for such complex mechanics. Mainstream historians stubbornly dismissed the gear as an anachronism. They claimed it was a later addition, perhaps an astrolabe dropped centuries after the shipwreck. The object was deemed an anomaly, too controversial to study, and abandoned to obscurity. Decades passed in silence. The mechanism suffered in the museum's damp basement, further corroding into a fragile state. The truth remained locked within the calcified shell, waiting for modern technology to evolve enough to peer inside the stone. In the 1950s, a physicist named Derek de Sola Price became obsessed with the artifact. He saw beyond the corrosion, utilizing rudimentary X-ray technology to gaze straight through the weathered limestone and heavily oxidized bronze outer casing. What Price discovered sent shockwaves through the scientific world. The radiographs revealed not just one solitary gear, but a highly intricate, tightly packed system of 27 interlocking wheels. It was undeniably a complex machine of unprecedented ancient design. This was not a simple clock. The X-rays exposed differential gearing, a mechanical concept previously believed to have been invented in the 16th century. The ancient Greeks possessed engineering knowledge that was inexplicably lost for over 15 centuries. If you are fascinated by the hidden anomalies of our past and the technologies history tried to erase, subscribe to the channel now. We uncover the cinematic truth behind ancient mysteries, restoring the lost chapters of human ingenuity. Price published his groundbreaking paper, famously describing the artifact as being like finding a jet plane inside the tomb of King Tutankhamun. However, his two-dimensional X-rays were blurry, leaving the exact function of the overlapping gears fiercely debated. By 1990, Michael Wright, a mechanical engineering curator, utilized linear tomography to peel back the layers further. Wright constructed the first functional replica, proving the mechanism was designed to physically model the erratic, complex motions of the cosmos. Yet, the most profound revelations were still hidden. In 2005, the Antikythera Mechanism research project mobilized an 8-ton, custom-built microfocus X-ray CT scanner. This colossal machine was physically transported to Athens to interrogate the stone. This bleeding-edge technology sliced the artifact into high-resolution three-dimensional digital fragments. It allowed researchers to digitally dissolve the petrified dirt and corrosion, revealing microscopic details that had been totally obscured from human eyes since the ship originally sank. Deep within the corroded bronze plates, the scans exposed thousands of tiny, perfectly engraved text characters. These microscopic inscriptions were literally a user manual embedded directly inside the machine, explaining exactly how to operate the dials and gears. The decoded text confirmed the device was an incredibly precise calendar, but it wasn't tracking simple days. It calculated the intricate Metonic cycle, a complex 235-month lunar calendar used to perfectly synchronize the disparate lunar and solar years. It also featured a dial dedicated to predicting eclipses with terrifying accuracy. It tracked the Saros cycle, allowing the user to know the exact hour and color of a lunar eclipse decades before the celestial event actually occurred. Even more astounding was a small dial tracking the 4-year cycle of ancient athletic games, including the Olympics. This proves the device wasn't purely scientific. It deeply integrated cosmic mathematics with the sacred cultural fabric of ancient Greek society. To achieve this, the mechanism modeled the elliptical orbit of the moon. Because the moon's speed varies, the Greeks ingeniously designed a pin and slot gear system that mathematically simulated this anomaly, demonstrating an absolute mastery of complex differential kinematics. This pin and slot mechanism is a marvel of ancient engineering. A small pin on one gear slides within a slot on another, perfectly replicating the variable velocity of the moon as it travels closer to and farther from Earth. The front dial displayed the zodiac and the Egyptian calendar, while individual hands indicated the exact positions of the Sun, the Moon, and the 5 known planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, all moving at independent speeds. Creating this required advanced astronomical data. The mathematical ratios cut into the bronze teeth precisely match the Babylonian planetary theories. This artifact represents a grand synthesis of diverse ancient cultures, uniting Babylonian mathematics with unparalleled Greek mechanical. Who could have possibly possessed the intellect to design such a machine? Many historians point directly to the legendary mathematician Archimedes. He lived in Syracuse and was famous for constructing intricate planetary spheres that mirrored the complex cosmos. Historical accounts state that when the Romans besieged Syracuse, a soldier struck down Archimedes. The Roman general Marcellus supposedly looted a mechanical celestial globe from Archimedes' workshop, a device that sounds incredibly identical to the recovered Antikythera Mechanism. However, radiocarbon dating and stylistic analysis of the embedded text suggest the shipwreck occurred decades after Archimedes died. This indicates the mechanism wasn't a singular prototype, but part of an ongoing, continuous tradition of highly advanced mechanical engineering. Another compelling candidate is the astronomer Hipparchus, who resided on the island of Rhodes. Hipparchus fundamentally developed the theory of the moon's complex, irregular motion, the exact mathematical anomaly that the machine's brilliant pin and slot gearing system so perfectly models. The presence of the mechanism on a ship sailing from the eastern Mediterranean suggests it was a luxury item, perhaps commissioned by a wealthy Roman elite. It represents the pinnacle of an entire school of mechanical engineering entirely lost. Why did this profound technology vanish so completely? The answer lies in the catastrophic collapse of the Hellenistic world. As the Roman Empire expanded, it prioritized brutal military conquest and vast civil engineering over theoretical mathematics and delicate clockwork. The master artisans who possessed this knowledge died, and their fragile bronze creations were tragically melted down for swords and coinage. The Antikythera Mechanism only survived because it was shielded by the ocean, accidentally preserved in a watery grave. The implications are incredibly haunting. If this civilization could build a mechanical computer 2,000 years ago, what else was lost? Human progress is clearly not a straight line. It is a fragile, easily shattered cycle of rise and fall. Imagine if this technology had not been destroyed. If the knowledge of complex gearing and mechanical computation had continuously evolved instead of being buried, the Industrial Revolution might have occurred over 1,000 years earlier in our human timeline. Today, modern engineers have successfully recreated the device using the exact same tools available to the ancient Greeks. These functional replicas operate flawlessly, a beautiful testament to a level of prehistoric precision that continues to defy modern historical expectations. The intricate dance of its brass gears is mesmerizing. As you turn the primary crank, the entire solar system comes alive within the bronze casing. It is a physical manifestation of ancient philosophy, proving they saw a strictly mathematical universe. We are still discovering its secrets. Recent spectral imaging has revealed even more microscopic text hidden inside the crust fragments, outlining a philosophical treatise on the harmonic nature of the cosmos, intertwining cold mathematics with a deep spiritual reverence. The artifact sits today under heavy security in Athens, a silent, heavily fragmented witness to an obliterated era. It forces us to completely reevaluate everything we thought we knew about the intellectual capacity of our distant ancient human ancestors. It stands as a profound warning about the vulnerability of information. A single catastrophic event, a change in empire, or a shift in cultural values can plunge humanity into intellectual darkness, erasing centuries of profound, irreplaceable scientific discovery instantly. The Antikythera Mechanism is not just an anomalous artifact, it is a ghost of an alternate human timeline, a haunting reminder that the ancients were far more brilliant, and our modern technological supremacy is far more recent than we admit. As we look to the stars with our digital supercomputers, we are merely picking up the tools that the Greeks forged 2 millennia ago. The mechanism proves that the human desire to perfectly calculate the infinite cosmos is ancient. We are left with profound, unsettling questions. How many other mechanical miracles lie undiscovered in the deep? And how easily could our own vast digital civilization be wiped away, leaving nothing but oxidized metal for future generations to endlessly ponder? The Antikythera Mechanism remains an eternal enigma, an impossible ancient computer that survived the crushing depths of the sea to rewrite history. The truth of our brilliant, forgotten past is still out there, silently waiting in the deep, heavy darkness.